So again, Stuart Levenberg with the Kensington Company. Pleasure to speak today. I've been working with the SBDC and other organizations for about 20 years at this point, and they're phenomenal resources. And they're kind enough to invite me to speak because I'm not here to try and sell you on a franchise or business ownership is right for you. I'm really here more on that education. We represent a lot of businesses, 180 different franchises. And we're really a tour guide. If you want business ownership, we want to help you get there safely. So I almost describe looking for a business. A lot of times I take a Zillow approach. You could go to Zillow and type in, you want to buy a home. You can have 1 million homes available to you. You got to start building your filters and criteria and know your budget. And so I could go to Zillow and say, I want to live on Long Island in Nassau County, and I need 4 bedrooms, and this is my budget, and I want a swimming pool. I've gone from 10 million homes available to me to 5 homes that actually make sense and can help me accomplish what I'm looking for. So we take the same approach, helping people find the right business. What's your budget? What are your skills? What are you trying to avoid? And I will tell you, most of my buyers know more about what they don't want than what they do want. I don't want a lot of labor. I don't want to spend that much money. I don't want this. Awesome. Those are great pieces of context for me to try and help you find that right business. So Kensington Company, 4 divisions, 1 mergers and acquisitions. Not going to spend a lot of time on that today, but fancy word for saying we help people buy and sell businesses. We really deal with small businesses. We're not dealing with these $100 million companies. We're dealing with sign shops and delis and pizzerias and bagel stores, and a manufacturing company doing $10 million in revenue would be a bigger transaction for us. So these are what I call Main Street. We're dealing with everyday normal businesses. Somebody owns it, they want to exit, they need a buyer. We're going to help put the right transaction together, hopefully. Second division is what really brings me here today and the opportunity to present. We're the local FranNet office. Through FranNet, we represent, I have 100 plus locations here. It's about 180 different brands we work with. And we're matchmakers. We talk to, again, buyers about goals and budgets and skills and try and make an introduction to brands that could be appropriate and make sure our candidates know how to really navigate a research plan. Third division, not so relevant to today, but we do franchisor development work where we help companies that want a franchise go through the process of becoming a franchise. And lastly, business valuations. One day you may want to sell your company or buy out your partner or raise capital or any number of reasons. We could go in there and help put together a business valuation. So a lot of different things, small business oriented. Those are the services at Kensington Company. I joke I'm a utility infielder. I could do a little bit of all that's on the list. So as we open it up later for questions, whatever's on your mind, happy to really address. So many choices. Where did you begin? And I even jumped ahead. I started with my Zillow analogy. Where you begin is really with a list of what's important to you. The amount of people that say, Stu, do you have a list of businesses you work with? You know, of course I do. I wouldn't know my business is otherwise, but it's not appropriate to give out because people are going to be emotional. I could have Dunkin' Donuts on the list and 50 other brands. Everyone's going to ask about the Dunkin' Donuts. It's just such a powerful brand. It's iconic in our backyard. Doesn't mean you could afford it. Doesn't mean you have the right skills for it. Doesn't mean you're going to be the right franchisee. So again, it's not just about a list of businesses or I go to Zillow, I want to look at a list of homes. I'm going to love the homes I can't afford, that are on the water, that are out of my budget. I got to start building my criteria to go find opportunities that actually make sense. And I really think that is the first list you start with: your goals, your objectives, your budget, your skills. If you hate managing employees, don't buy a business that has a ton of employees. Let's focus on what we are looking to do. So buying a franchise. I have many different PowerPoints I use. This is one of my favorites because it is simple. I cover a lot of ground quickly. I'm going to try and keep my presentation to 30 minutes or so. Again, I almost think when I have somebody like Seth on the line also, it's like back to school. I feel like I'm more of that professor with a textbook background, but you got someone on the line that has real world experience, and it's good to hear from both ends. So I don't want to overeducate today, but give you enough information to know if this is something, wow, this is interesting. I want to learn more. I want to explore it. And you will hear from me, from Seth, from the SBDC. Buying a business is a major life decision. Go slow, do your homework, do your research, make informed decisions. So again, today is a little overview, but happy to peel this back with anybody further. So in my world of keep it simple, I try and put franchises into one of three different buckets. A lot of times when I do live seminars and have more interaction, I ask everybody to name a franchise. And like clockwork, I hear every great fast food restaurant, and then I hear a little bit of automotive. So if we weren't muted and we went through franchises, I'm going to hear brands like McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, Taco Bell. Once everyone's done naming their favorite fast food restaurant, they're going to start naming Amco, Midas, Jiffy Lube. But most people think of franchising, they think inbound retail. And they're correct. That's a huge part of franchising. These brands have incredible recognition, but that's just one little circle. So inbound retail, like the name describes, inbound. You need customers coming in, location, location, location. I joke and say you could be a genius and own a Dunkin' Donuts in a terrible location. You're probably not going to do very well. You could have average skill sets and own a Dunkin' Donuts across the street from a train station. You're probably going to do very well in business. That location is so important to driving your revenue. It's hard to combat not having that right location. Because of that, it's the most expensive type of opportunity. We live in Long Island, most of us. It's an expensive marketplace, signing leases, build outs. You got a real cost of entry to enter. The growth strategy, I think, is very challenging. You want to grow in McDonald's or Wendy's or 7-Eleven. There's a reason why Seth on the line has 7 Jersey Mikes. There's only so much revenue out of a single location. If you're growth oriented, the strategy is a multi-unit game plan. So again, costly to go grow. Why do people like it? A lot of times you have phenomenal franchisor support. You have brands people are familiar with. I generally think it's not a complicated sales process. I can't go into McDonald's and write a check. I can't get 30-day terms. They don't have to chase money down on the street. You come in, you buy your product, and you exit. So you really need to be a great operator and control what goes on inside your 4 walls. But there's less for you to do outside of your 4 walls. It's very inbound. Customers are coming to you. So those are the benefits. You turn on the lights and customers come to you. If you have that right brand, people understand that concept. A Chick-fil-A opens up on Long Island. It doesn't take them a long time to ramp up the business. People know the brand. They pick the right location. They got customers on day number 1. That's the benefit of inbound retail. Again, the disadvantage, you had to go build a restaurant in the busiest location you could find, and that has real cost to it. The next type of opportunity is what I call outbound retail. Irrelevant, but happens to be one of my favorite types of businesses. Why do I like outbound retail? Well, again, just breaking apart the 2 words. We have retail. We understand what that is. You have the physical location. People could come to you. You have the security of your 4 walls. You're just not limited by your 4 walls. So I pick on a sign shop, a flower shop, a printing shop. Great examples of outbound retail. I've never met somebody with 2 flower shops. I've never met somebody with 2 sign shops. You could build a large business out of a single location, but you got to go out. You got to sell and market and network and be part of the community and promote your business. You need different skill sets as an owner. I'm going into a sign shop. I'm probably expecting them again 30-day terms to go pay for my sign, depending on my relationship or whatever it might be. So again, outbound retail, 1 location. A lot of times the cost of entry is a lot lower. A sign shop or McDonald's, going for very different real estate. One needs to be on Grand Avenue, corner location, right off the highway. The sign shop could be an industrial park. It could be in a smaller shopping center. It could be off the beaten path. Generally, they're less customer facing. McDonald's is built out with very customer friendly services and 2 bathrooms and dining rooms. The sign shop, it's production. It's less of a build out. But again, now you need to be comfortable going out to build your business. You turn on your lights at the sign shop. You don't have a line of people at your business on day number 1 trying to buy signs from you. You need to start marketing your business, building relationships. Over time, you can build something tremendous, but it takes time to go build and ramp that up generally. But the nice thing is, again, a single location could build a bigger business. And if you think about my sign shop, my printing shop, my flower shop, again, smaller footprints, most of them are Monday to Friday type hours, maybe a half a day on Saturday. You know, the flower shop by my house, I want to buy flowers for my wife. I got to get there by 6 p.m. I have a good reason why I never buy my wife flowers. They close at 6. It's if they had McDonald's hours, she'd get flowers every day. But I make the joke, but it's, you know, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, half day on Saturday. If I owned a flower shop and somebody else owned a flower shop, I know my personality. I don't want to be a shopkeeper. I don't want to be behind the front counter. I don't want to put together bouquets of flowers. Doesn't mean I can't own a flower shop. I might do better. I'm going to go out and join networking groups and chambers, and I'm going to chase down wedding planners and temples and churches and catering halls. And if I could do weddings and sweet 16s, I'm going to build a very big business out of a single location. If I own a flower shop and a florist in nature, and I'm just artistic and I love the customer service, great, I'll probably survive, but I don't know that I'm going to thrive. You got to go out. You got to go out and build that business. We've sold sign shops that have done huge numbers. The owner is not making signs. They're out networking and building a business. We've sold sign shops that can't pay their bill, and the owner is a sign maker. So that is very important to understand your role as the owner in all of these businesses, but especially more in outbound retail. And my next category, business development, networking is a huge part of certain types of businesses. Again, a nice thing about a brand like Dunkin' Donuts, a lot of people are attracted. You don't necessarily have to do that networking. If you're in the Chamber of Commerce, it's great. You're supporting the community. I don't know that you're necessarily selling another cup of coffee the next morning. If you own a sign shop and you're in the Chamber of Commerce, it's probably going to benefit your business and meet lots of new business owners. So again, outbound, so critical that you're comfortable leaving your four walls to go build your business. And the last is what I call sales and service. Lowest cost of entry. I'm a great example of a service business. I'm a franchise that helps people buy franchises. You can't come to my office and leave with a tangible product. We are a service. I could work from home. I could do Zoom calls. I don't need this physical location. I sort of joke, I have a cleaning lady that comes to my house. I've never been to their office. I have a tree guy that had to fix a falling tree on my property that was half down. I've never been to the tree guy's office. My deck gets stained in the summer. I'm never going to the deck repair guy's office. So service businesses often cost less because you've given up the four walls. But now you got to increase that human capital. If you don't have four walls and a door that someone's walking through, you still got to go get business. You got to get crews out in the morning and market and proposals and follow up and chase your money down on the street. The tree guy did the work. I didn't pay him right then and there. I wasn't home. My wife didn't have the money on her. He sends us an invoice. No problem. We paid him. But he's got to be aware of that and go get paid. So again, different businesses, different skill sets, different roles of the owner. And you'll hear I consistently go back to role of the owner. I don't think there is anything more important than making sure you're honest about your skills and what you're able to do, what you can't do, and find a business that could help really complement you on that, or a franchise that could help you with the things you really struggle with. That's one of the big benefits in a franchise. You don't have to be an expert at everything. You got real support behind you. You got to be able to learn and roll with it, and business ownership is not easy, but again, you have that great support. So I sort of joke, on one end, I have inbound retail, which is a lot of financial capital, less human capital. If we got 15 people on this call and we all owned a Dunkin' Donuts in the same location, if we were properly trained, if we went to Dunkin' school, we're probably running similar businesses. It's not, the real estate is just so critical. You start getting into outbound retail and sales and service, you could start taking some financial capital off the table, but now you got to start elevating that human capital. You own that sign shop, you got production and schedules, and a new client calls tonight and they need an emergency order. Are you going to stay late and shift production and get this done? Or are you just going to tell them I can't do it? You got more things to sort of navigate. It's coming at you differently versus a very consistent, repetitive product. So again, inbound, I put a lot of financial capital, less on that human capital. But as you start going to outbound retail, less financial capital, more human capital. A service business, less financial capital, more human capital. You want to go on a Molly-made cleaning service, you need a desk, a telephone, a computer. You're really buying territory. You're buying air. So the cost of buying that territory is certainly going to be less than opening up a BurgerFi restaurant. You don't need this retail build out. You're setting up a small office. If you have the right skill sets, you could go do very well in that cleaning franchise. You put me in that cleaning franchise, I'm not going to do well. I don't want to manage a lot of employees. It's not my skill set. I'm not this big team builder. I like sales. I like marketing. I like what I do. I don't have a lot of labor under me. It works for me. The next person is going to hate this environment, and they're much better managing a team of people. It's not that any one business is right. And people say all the time, Stu, you rep all these businesses. What's the best business? I always have the same answer. What's best for you? It depends what you're looking for. You hate customer service, don't own a UPS store. It's just probably not going to be a great fit. It's you like sales, go do something sales oriented. Why are we behind a register that we just have to wait for customers coming in all day? Go out and maybe there's another opportunity that could utilize those skills. 3 keys I try and keep everybody focused on in their business search. Number 1 is demand. And so many things go into demand today. There could be demand for the product, but what's going on with Amazon, minimum wage, Washington, D.C., politics, China? What are all these things that you really don't have control over that really have the big impact on how your business is going to perform? So again, demand. Food service delivery. I wouldn't want to compete with Amazon and Peapod today. It's not that there's not demand for that. I'd be scared to enter that industry just because who the competitors are. It's not what I don't want to take on a company like that. I feel like I'm just too small. They have too much of a marketing budget. So again, it's not that there's no demand. It's all these other factors also that really got to weigh on you. I love senior care. I hate it in New York, the moratorium, the laws, there's rules, regulations, lots of things that really impact how you can operate your business. Some people are very comfortable with that, and others, again, it's just too regulated for me. The next person can thrive in that industry. So first thing, looking at a business, is there demand for that product? Number 2, or really on my list, number 5 right now, the most important thing in your business search, I've already said it, role of the owner versus function of the business. I would love to own a Jersey Mike's. I love sandwiches. It's that's the function of the business. Go make great sandwiches. The role of the owner is very different. It's managing employees, marketing, customer service, daily bank deposits. You got a lot coming at you as the role of the owner. Being a foodie and loving their product is not necessarily the right reason to buy. So again, the cleaning service, so many things I love about it. Reoccurring revenue. The one thing I don't have in my life is reoccurring revenue. Very nice people on this phone. I hope to have a call. I hope to have a chance to help you. But if you wind up buying a franchise through my office, I get a commission from the franchisor. There's 0 charge for my services, but I have no recurring revenue. I wake up tomorrow feeling unemployed. If I own that cleaning franchise, I got clients that I'm servicing on a weekly basis. I feel great about it. So I love that cleaning franchise, low cost of entry, sales, recurring revenue. I can never own it. I don't have the right role of the owner. You give me 20 low-skilled employees and I'm working for them. They're not working for me. I don't want to yell at anybody. I don't want to fire anybody. I want to be everyone's best friends. I'm in sales. I need you to like me. I don't want to manage 20 low-skilled employees. Not for me. The next person, my wife, she would run that business. She has me doing the dishes every night after dinner. She could go motivate people to hopefully do their job better than I can. Again, you ask her to stand in front of the computer and do a webinar, she's going to freeze and hate it and have a sleepless night and be upset. Again, I enjoy this. I thrive on this. I love having the ability to connect with new people. So again, it's not that one's good and one's bad. It's what is your skill what is your role as the owner? So get away from the function of I would love to own a sign shop. I can't make a sign. I can't draw a circle. I can't climb a ladder. I can't do an install. But to me, the right role of the owner is being a million networking groups, chambers of commerce, Rotary clubs, networking, business development. And if I built a big sign shop, I probably have 4, 5, 6 employees. If I got 6 employees at a sign shop, I got no problems. I've built a large business. To build a large business in a cleaning franchise, I'm going to have 30 employees. Again, I'm comfortable with 6 and not comfortable with 30. But it all goes back to that role of the owner and your skills. And finally, fit. Is the business a good fit? So just going back to Dunkin' Donuts, I pick on them a lot. I don't think anybody could argue the demand for their product. People love coffee. As much coffee is out there, the demand's still going to be bigger next year. It just keeps growing, and America runs on coffee without a doubt. So the demand is there. The role of the owner, if I had proper Dunkin' Donuts training, I believe I could go into a store and manage it. Can I do it today? No, I don't know what I'm doing, but they have great systems and training. And I feel like if this is what I wanted to do, I probably have the skill set to learn how to manage a Dunkin' Donuts. Is it a fit? It's a terrible fit. I don't have a huge budget. I'm not looking to open up multiple units. I don't want 10 landlords. I don't want all this labor and inventory. Bad fit for me. For the next person, it's a perfect fit. That's exactly what they're trying to grow. They're great at managing people. They love real estate. They get all things that turn on the next person are a turn off to me. So again, it's got to be that right fit. Just because there's demand, just because you have that role, doesn't mean it's a good fit. I was speaking to like a Muslim person the other day that can't deal with pork products. I wish they would have told me, because I spent an hour trying to sell them a pizzeria, and then finally says, do they have pepperoni on the menu? I said, yes. It's like, I can't buy it. It's a bad fit. Do they have demand? Yes. He has the role of the owner. It just for his religion, for his beliefs, it was a bad fit. So again, all different reasons why something might not be a fit. But again, come back to these three things, whether you're doing your own business, buying a resale, joining a franchise. I don't think anyone could argue you need demand for the product. You need to be the right role as the owner and have the right skill sets. And it should be a fit. You're buying a business. You should make sure it fits your lifestyle, your budget, your comfort levels, the things you're trying to accomplish in life. I have somebody that owns a route. He demand for the route. He's got the right role. The owner, it's not a fit. He's miserable. He's a people person. He's coming from HR before he had this route. Now he's on a truck by himself all day. That's why he wants to exit. He's like, Stu, the money's there. My skill is there. The demand is there. I just want to be around more people. I find this very isolating. Not a fit for him long term. So I have 4 myths in franchising. Sometimes it's easier when I have more participation, because I get answers from you and they validate my myths. So again, if we weren't muted, I'd say everyone name a franchise. And if there are 10 people on the call, 9 out of 10 people are going to name fast food restaurants, without a doubt. So that's my first myth. Franchising is all about fast food. It's a myth. You got Mr. Handyman and Molly Maid and sign shops and cleaning companies and franchises that sell franchises. You got things in every different industry. So franchising is way more than fast food, and that's why I have that as a myth. Expensive. Well, if I had everyone name a franchise, I heard McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, Taco Bell, Wendy's. They say, great, how much does a franchise cost? You know what numbers I'm going to hear? $500,000, $1 million, $3 million, $700,000. I'm going to hear big numbers with lots of zeros. And you're right if you're thinking about that inbound retail, brick and mortar, multi-unit opportunity. But you start thinking about that sign shop and that flower shop and my outbound retail, you're way closer to 200 to 300,000 as a total investment. You go into the service side of things, sales and service. You want to go open up, like again, a Molly Maid or CertaPro Painters, or these things that are more office based, and you're going to go to a client's office or home to do the service. A lot less expensive. You're setting up a desk, a telephone, a computer. Clearly, there's a little bit more to it than that, but you're not building out a AAA restaurant in a AAA location. So I have it as a myth that franchising is expensive. You have over 50% of all the franchises have a total investment under 100K. Again, those are going to be sales and service businesses, and you better have the right human capital to back up that money. And if you do, you could take a reasonable investment and build it into something tremendous. Inbound retail, it's only about 6-7% of franchises cost more than $500,000. They happen to be some of the most common names that we all know and recognize. But once you get past your top food service franchises and start looking at the whole spectrum of what's out there, franchising becomes way more affordable. And the great thing is the SBDC is on the call. They can help you with SBA loans. There's money out there. The government right now is trying to restart the economy. They're getting money into small business owners' hands. They're lending their programs. I think they're paying the first 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, at this point of a new SBA loan. So there's lots of different programs and money out there. A lot of my clients, I joke, I work with corporate America refugees. That's my typical client. They're coming from corporate and they're looking for their next chapter. Their money is typically tied up in their home or a 401k. It's not that they're liquid for it. There are lots of different programs to help somebody access dollars for business ownership. And we could talk more about your resources one-on-one if that's of interest. Return on investment. I'm going to pause for 30 seconds and talk about business resales. As I mentioned, I'm also a business broker. I sell established companies. When you buy an established company, there's a direct relationship on what you're going to pay and what that business is earning. And happens that we could have a deli that's earning $200,000. It's run down. The booths are held together with duct tape. It stinks when you walk in there, but somehow they make the world's best egg sandwich. There's a line out the door every Saturday, and the owner makes $200,000 a year in profit. Across the street, we could be selling a catering hall. Someone could have invested $1 million into that catering hall, but for whatever reason, it's not generating the money. It's making $100,000 in profit. Which business is worth more? The catering hall that someone spent $1 million to build that's earning $100,000, or this deli that's falling apart, stinks, held together with duct tape, but's making $200,000? The deli is worth more. Buyers want to buy cash flow. So when you buy an established business, a lot of times people don't necessarily care what you invested. They care what you're earning. That is the important number. And generally, there's a direct relationship on what you're going to pay and what it could earn. I can't call you up and say, hey, Ronnie, I just picked up a catering hall. You could buy it for $1 million. Her first question is going to say, how much is it earning? I'm going to say $100,000. She's going to say, Stu, so I have to work the next, I write you a check for $1 million. I work the next 10 years of my life and I get my $1 million back. That's not really the best proposition. It's a lot of these small businesses will sell for 2 times multiple to 4 times multiple. Things will sell for less, things will sell for more, but in the terms of simplicity, a business that's earning $100,000 is probably going to sell right about $300,000. A business earning $200,000 is probably going to sell for about $600,000. Again, ranges and variations on all of that, but there's a direct relationship on what you're going to pay to what it's going to earn. I've never had a seller with a business that's earning $1 million. Hey, I'll sell it for $100,000. There's a relationship to what they're earning and what they want to get paid. And vice versa. When you're the buyer, there's a relationship to what you're going to spend and the dollars and the return on that investment. So direct correlation. If I'm selling a deli or a Jersey Mike's, if they're earning the same thing, I'm going to get 3 phone calls on the deli. I'm going to have 300 phone calls for the Jersey Mike's. I could be selling a Dunkin' Donuts earning $100,000 or an independent coffee shop earning $150,000. I'm having 1,000 times more calls for that Dunkin' Donuts at 10 times the price. People love buying into the brand, their security, there's, someone's there to help you and train you. If I was selling Susie's cleaning franchise or a Molly Maid cleaning on a resale, I don't want to buy Susie's cleaning. I'm nervous. It's anxious. She has all the relationships. I buy Molly Maids. I just feel more secure. They're doing business with the brand and the system versus the individual. So, and even when I buy that independent deli, maybe that previous deli owner was great at these recipes and coming up with new menu items. And I join a franchise like Jersey Mike's. I don't have to get creative with the menu. They're going to constantly be evolving. They have a big team putting money into building out the right menu and studying the market and knowing where trends are. So today, I think business is so hard. So many things are coming at you. You need this great back office support, in my opinion, to go do product development on top of running your day-to-day operation, on top of creating the right digital marketing. It's just 87 things need to come together to be successful today. You joined that right franchise again. You got to execute, but you got a team of coaches behind you, sort of pointing you in the right direction on a lot of this. And as far as earnings go, that's why I protect myself when I talk in ranges. Your business could be worth 2 to 4 times earnings. If you show me a tax return and I can't find any of the money, it's closer to that lower number. You hand me the tax returns and they're pretty and I can find the money, we're going to get you more for it. People, when there's anxiety, people don't buy. When you have lousy financials, that creates anxiety and people don't buy. You give me good financials, I could reduce somebody's anxiety and now they're getting comfortable. It's so, and I tell people from day number one, always prepare your business for sale. Understand your role as the owner, build systems, processes, a team. When Mike from Mike's Landscaping calls to sell, and everyone calls Mike's cell phone number when they need work, and Mike gets every crew out and knows every homeowner, and they all pay Mike in cash, I can't sell that business. I don't care how successful it is and how much money Mike is making. You're not Mike. It's hard to step into those shoes. I go and sell.
Stuart, also, what you just said about prepare your business for sale as it's from the beginning. That's really important also, because you're not only preparing your business for sale, you're preparing your business for growth, because you can grow a business that's sellable. So if you prepare your business for sale all the time and you're always showing what needs to be done in your business and always showing all your income and always doing those things, you can easily go to the bank and open another unit. You can easily go to the bank and purchase a piece of equipment. You can easily finance things in the future. Always great to have a banking relationship, always great to be preparing your business for sale at the same time you're preparing your business for growth. Because if you want to grow your business, and really everybody wants to grow their business one way or another, you need to be showing the best paperwork to everybody.
And Seth is right on. I have owners that are scared of growth because they're a one-arm paper hanger. They can't handle any more themselves. They don't know how to delegate. Everything ends with them, and you can't grow that. I am positive Seth can't be in 7 Jersey Mikes at one time. It seems kind of impossible. But if you follow systems and processes and are organized, and now you're managing a business. So there's so many expressions: work on your business, not in your business. But without a doubt, if you are organized, you could accomplish a lot more. If you're unorganized and you don't build a team, and that is part of what makes franchising so successful. They have job descriptions. They have processes. When someone's at this level, here's how you keep them motivated and get them to the next level. The amount of intangible support that they give you that just keeps you on track, it's through the roof. So again, return on investment. I have this as a myth when buying something up and running. You're going to get what you pay for. If you built a good business, you're going to get good money for it. If it's a house of cards and you're running all over the place and everyone just deals with the owner, it might be sellable, but you're going to get a whole lot less for that business. So direct correlation on the resale. Why do I have this as a myth in franchising? Because you can spend $100,000 and buy the right service business. You could spend $700,000 and buy build a brick and mortar retail. I can't tell you which one's going to earn more. And the truth is, if you have the right skill set, I do believe a service business is going to cost you less and you could build it bigger. But you need that right skill set. If you don't like sales and marketing and follow-up and business development, hard to go build a service business. So you need to actually give that service. But if you have that skill set, we've helped a ton of people. I love Budget Blinds, one of my favorite brands. I think it's like $60,000 cost of entry. Home-based, no employees. You got people making 6-figure incomes on a $60,000 investment, and they control their schedule, their quality of life, their timing. They got their kid's soccer game tomorrow. They don't book an appointment. So it's not that they invested all this money. They have a certain skill set. They found a brand, and they're able to make 1 + 1 = more than 2. So again, when you buy into a franchise, you're buying the blueprints. And the cost to really build out those blueprints are going to range. So you go brick and mortar, it's very expensive to build out those blueprints. You go service, it's way more affordable. But again, you got to replace it with different human capital and skill set and make sure you're the right person on that right business. And my final myth, industry experience. I very much question when Seth tells us more about his Jersey Mikes, how much they cared, how good of a sandwich he can make. I think of all the questions they probably asked him, I don't think they asked him one time, Seth, do you make a good sandwich? It's probably less important. CertaPro Painters doesn't want painters. They want.
Stuart, I make a very good sandwich.
Seth, I didn't mean to doubt that. So again, industry experience. It's the cleaning company. They don't care if you're OCD with cleanliness. They really want to know, are you a good manager? Can you keep a team? Can you keep people motivated? I think every business has a different common denominator on what makes that industry successful. Again, I think the best sign shops I've been in, it's not that the owner makes the greatest signs. They do business development. They have relationships. They've been able to go find great customers. It's not that they're the world's best sign maker. The people that build the biggest cleaning companies, it's not that they're cleaning people's homes cleaner than every other cleaning company. They can manage the crews and an organization and get people out. So what is the common denominator? And for me, the cleaning company, as much as I love it, the common denominator is good management experience. You go speak to 20 owners. You could be great at sales and stink at management. I promise you those owners are struggling. You stink at sales and you're great at management. I'm telling you, those people are building bigger cleaning service businesses. So again, it goes back to that role of the owner, that experience. What is a good fit? And tons of food service really do want industry experience. I think it's less to make sure that you're good in the kitchen, but that you know what you're signing up for. It's 7 days a week. It's retail. It's labor. Not every day is perfect. There's just deliveries that are delayed, employees that call in sick. They want to make sure that you're experienced in the sense of you know what you're signing up for, because it's 7 days a week and coming at you. It's less that you're so skilled in the kitchen, but that you have this general skill set and the ability to adjust, because there's not a single business owner you will ever connect with that won't tell you. You got to be able to adjust. Not every day is perfect. Not everything goes the way you want it. And if it was, business ownership would be for everybody. But when it's not going your way, can you zigzag? And again, joining a franchise, you have a team to help you with that zigzagging. Let's have comment on this in a minute. But sometimes it's just, forget the franchisor, the interaction with all your other franchisees. Hey, I'm really struggling to keep a manager. I'm always impressed. You've got the same manager for 5 years. What are you doing? How do you keep them? I keep burning through them. You know, the collaboration of other owners, team, together, everyone achieves more. I'm part of FranNet. You could ask me about a franchise today that I don't know about. I have 80 other FranNet offices around the country. Has anybody heard of this ABC franchise? I had a candidate ask about it, and I'm going to have 80 people that are so willing to help me, because I'm just as willing to help them. We're all in it together. But collaboration is another huge part of franchising and just an intangible. But I want to quickly just get through my last 4 points, and we'll turn it over to Seth, and then hopefully have some Q&A and some good dialogue. Researching a franchise, I can't say it enough. Research, do your homework. Don't rush into making a big mistake. Go slow, be methodical. Don't look for perfection either. You'll be looking for the rest of your life. There is no perfect business, but be thorough. So we have a 4-step plan that I really do believe if you follow this plan, it is very hard for you not to make an informed decision. Number 1, talk to the franchisor. And I'm going to give you questions to ask the franchisor. How long have you been in business? Who's your competition? How many units have you opened in the last 3 years? How many have shut down? How many have transferred? What do you look for in a good franchisee? If they're not, we need people that want to make 100 cold calls a day. Well, if that's not you, I would go run. They're telling you honestly what it takes to be good in their system. If they're not, they want to bring the right people onto the bus also. They don't want, now, good franchisors want to bring the right people on the bus. Bad franchisors will sell a franchise. If you ever feel like you are being sold a franchise, don't buy. Good franchisors award. I have this great thing. It's gold. I actually care who I'm going to give it to. I'm not giving this to anybody. You want to join my family. I want to make sure you're a good quality person before you're coming into my house. So again, talk to the franchisor, and I'll give you those questions. You'll have your own questions. And it's not one conversation. Most franchisors are going to take you through 3 or 4 different webinars. One's focused on marketing, one's focused on their technology, one's focused on the industry. They want you to be educated and make that informed decision. And again, if you ever feel you're talking to a franchisor that is trying to sell you versus educate you, again, you're probably being sold. And don't buy. Again, do your homework. Number two, I can't overemphasize it, 10 times more important than any other step you're going to do. Talk to lots and lots and lots of franchisees in their system. Are you happy? Are you making money again? Would you do it again? What skills do you bring to the table? How do you spend your time? What are your biggest headaches? What are the challenges? When you have an issue, how do you get it resolved with the franchisor? Would you do this again? What else did you look at? Why did you choose this? Franchisees are generally thrilled to share information with other franchisees. If they are happy, they are going to go share that. And they feel an obligation to. The franchise, they bought into something and the other partner lived up to their end of the obligation. They're supporting them, they're giving resources, they're helping you build a big business. Those franchisees generally are thrilled to get on the phone and say, you know what, can't tell you you had a question, right?
Go ahead. I was just going to say, how do you get the franchisees to talk to you? Does the franchisor give you names of people that will speak with you?
Yeah, so every franchisor needs to give you what's called the franchise disclosure document.
Oh.
In there, you have the name and phone number of all the franchisees. I actually encourage my candidates, ask the franchisor for some all-stars. I want you speaking to some winners. I want you to see what it's like to hit it out the ballpark. Go see if you relate to those people. And then you got to go call a bunch of people at random. I really want you to speak to the all-stars. I do. It's go understand what you're trying to emulate. And if these people have skill sets that you don't have, if they have personalities you can't duplicate, run. It's irrelevant that I speak to somebody in a cleaning company and I ask them their background. They got 50 years of management experience. I'm glad you're an all-star in this brand. I don't have 50 years of management. I'm going to go back to the franchisor. Do you have anybody with a sales background? I go speak to 10 people with a sales background. Oh my God, this is the easiest sale in the world. Someone literally calls me and say they want their house cleaned. They just have to not mess it up. But I can't get my crew to show up in the morning. I am going to relate to that person and I don't have that skill set. So again, it's talk to the franchisees. And the franchisor is going to give you the name and phone number. Go look for unhappy people too. But you want to, again, separate who are the all-stars and why, who are average and why, who is struggling and why. You speak to 10 people in the sign shop and they're crushing it, but they're all in business development and a member of a country club and they golf with other business owners and sit on the board of this charity. Awesome. You now found a common denominator on who the all-stars are. Do you spend a lot of time in your store? No, I got a great production manager. I'm really out there doing the business development. Again, I'm going to relate to the all-stars in that brand. I start speaking to people that struggle. How you doing? Well, terrible. I can't make any money. No one buys signs. How do you spend your time? That's a dumb question. I'm a sign maker. All right. Well, do you have a network? I tried it once and it doesn't work. Again, their feedback is real also. It's not that they're a bad franchisor. It's you got to go see who is successful and what. Do very well in Franet. I love building these relationships. I don't care if there's nobody on the phone call today. I'm going to go thank Ronnie for giving me the opportunity to even be here today. And I mean it. I love it. Anybody on this phone call, you want to meet with me? I'm not even asking if you have money or how serious you are. You want to get educated on franchise ownership. That is my role. So after 20 years of all this great relationships, because I have the right personality for this job, the next person is not going to be able to build and hold these relationships. So again, the point is talk to franchisees is how you validate all this. You're going to have lots of thoughts and conclusions, but you speak to the owners, you're going to know the reality. If they're happy, they're going to share that. And as important, if they're unhappy, they're going to scream it. You just want to be smart enough to go filter it out. You're speaking to a sign shop owner that does no networking and you're a natural born salesperson, discount that information. Again, you're speaking to someone great at management and you're not, discount that information. You need a big enough population sample. Step 3 in my plan, visit the franchisor. A lot of times they call it Discovery Day. I hate the name Discovery Day. I don't think you should be buying a plane ticket to fly to California to discover anything. By the time you go there, I think of this as Confirmation Day. You're leaving your checkbook at home. You're not buying anything, but you've already spoken to the franchisor and asked them a million different questions. You've spoken to a dozen franchisees and feel good with the information you're getting. You're not really discovering anything at this point. You're going out to visit the franchisor to really confirm that this feels good. I like your offices. I like the people. I like the energy. I like the environment. before we even got started, I was telling Ronnie, some of my clients that want to sell their business, they're like, we'll just do a Zoom call. I'm like, no, I want to go to your office. I want to see the energy. I want to see if it's a hot mess, if everything's organized. You want to go touch it and see and feel the culture. And I'll let Seth talk about culture here in a minute, but such a huge factor. This is going to be your new business partner for the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life. Make sure this is a culture you want to be part of. There are plenty of franchisors, just not the right culture. Others that I think they are so great to their owners. And I got one more point. I'm going to turn it over. Professionals. Get your professionals involved. Your accountants, your attorneys, your financial planners, your best friends. But make sure they have good information for you. I sort of joke, my pipeline is about to implode. And I joke, Thanksgiving kills more deals for me than any other day of the year. The amount of people that have an Uncle Bert at the Thanksgiving table, I once owned a sign shop and can't make any money in it. Awesome, Uncle Bert. You were in Syracuse, New York 40 years ago, and you have a bad attitude. I don't know that it means Signorama is a bad franchise. It might mean that you stunk at your independent sign shop 40. My father, I love the man. Doesn't matter what business I tell him. Dad, new franchise. I can't wait to tell you about it. First words out of his mouth, I'll tell you why it won't work. I swear to God, it doesn't even matter. It's this great thing called Amazon, and they deliver products. I'll tell you why it's not going to last. It doesn't. But that's him again. And there are plenty of Uncle Al's that are going to go kill your deal. Make sure you spoke to 20 franchisees. I would value their feedback more than Uncle Al. So again, get your professionals. Make sure they're the right professionals. And I will tell you, and I know Seth is also a great Dunkin' Donuts background and everything else. We have people that buy Dunkin' Donuts. When they go and hire an attorney, I explain to them, in that brand, your attorney is really for clarification, not negotiation. Dunkin' ain't changing a letter in that contract. You need to understand what you're buying. You could then look at the next franchise, and it could be a very young brand, and they got 30 units. And I'm telling that client, your attorney is incredibly important. This is a young brand. They might be able to go maneuver some of this stuff. Some of the things are going to be taboo that they can never touch. Other things they will be able to make a little bit more friendly. You need the right attorney. So, but whatever professionals you have, especially on the attorney, make sure they're a franchise attorney. I've had people, again, write Dunkin' Donuts letters saying my client should have to pay royalties for the first year. And I'm like, they're going to fire you as a candidate. We're never rebounding from this. Don't send this letter. And again, you have the right professionals that they're going to help not make those mistakes. I could go on and on forever, but I'm going to pause and turn it over back to Ronnie and Seth and wait for any questions at the end.
I'll start with Dunkin' Donuts. So for 35 years, I was a Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin-Robbins franchisee, and I had my stores. Somebody wanted them more than I did, so they made me an offer, and the brand stepped in and took it and gave that offer to another group of people. So really, the brands take a lot of interest in who's buying and where that person is geographically and so on. So just a little bit about me. I was a Baskin-Robbins Dunkin' Donuts franchisee for 35 years, sold 16 stores to a private equity group, and thought I was retired, but Jersey Mike's was very interesting. They started pursuing us, and as a group, my partners and I, and we decided to try one, and it did very, very well. You know, the brand was very young on Long Island, and we were able to leverage that brand and grow it. Now 7 units, and we have 2 more that we might do soon. But you know, all the things Stuart was saying with the way he lays it out is really important. And you know, the most important thing is talking to franchisees and talking to other franchisees. And generally speaking, when somebody asks me about franchising, I say, get a list of franchisees that are the top performers and get a list of franchisees that are the worst performers. And you want to talk to both of them. I mean, you really want to see what the high performing people are doing. If it's a location driven franchise, you want to see what those locations are good for. why is this a great location? Is it near a school? Is it near a hospital? Is it near an industrial park? And then you want to see the underperforming franchisees and why are they underperforming? Generally speaking, we find that they have a terrible attitude. They're defeated. Their store isn't doing $1 million and they thought they'd need $1 million to support their lifestyle as opposed to the business being just a good business. It's really important. You'll get the most information out of those people. So, choosing the right professionals, choosing to speak to the franchisees, choosing to speak to the customers. Why is somebody going to the store all the time? At Dunkin' Donuts, I remember seeing people coming into some stores that I was purchasing that were really in bad conditions, which is always the best way to buy a store because, we bring in better operators and we turn it into a great store. But, you'd see people coming in and they just love the product. And, I would look at some people and I say, why would they even walk into this building? It's terrible, but they got to get the product. So, that's a strong brand. But there are a lot of brands out there in all kinds of doctrines that, you can really do well with. And the great thing about franchising is it is an industry. It's got structure. It has a banking industry that's behind it. It has a support industry like professionals that sell the brands. There's professionals that insure the brands. There are professionals that do the legal for the brands. All of those things makes it a real industry. There are industry events. Recently, we, as an industry, we go to Congress, we speak, we lobby on behalf of franchise businesses through the International Franchise Association. My partner is on the board of that organization. There's no reason for both of us to be on the board of that organization. So, we participate in all of those things. And yeah, you go to a conference or a franchise show or the International Franchise Association, you learn something every time you go. So I've only been doing this for 40 years. But every time I go to a show, every time I go to an event, every time I speak to somebody, there's something there. I always learn something. There's always something to learn. But you really have to understand that when you're getting involved in a franchise, you're getting involved in a business that could fail, that could be very successful. You want to not listen to any one person, but you want to take a global view of the business that you're going to get into. So if the company is picking a location for a location-driven place, you want to try to get another franchisee that's already doing this. What do you think of this location? It's got this traffic, light is over here. You want to be in certain places. As a Dunkin' Donuts franchisee, I wanted the corner of Main and Main. And quite frankly, we could afford the corner of Main and Main. And as a Jersey Mike's franchisee, I don't need that. So being in an inline store, being in the right area, things have changed in that business. There's a lot of outreach. All the things that Stuart laid out before, meaning that the sign guy doesn't necessarily have to wait for incoming business, but all of those things, incoming, outgoing, networking, that's part of every business. More in one, less in another. But, quite frankly, when we open a store for Jersey Mike's now, we go out and we knock on doors and we give out free sandwiches and we give out coupons and we just want people to come in and see what we're about, or to call on the phone and place an order, or especially to use our app, which is supplied by the franchisor. Something that would be very hard to develop on our own. But all those structure is there. And quite frankly, right now, next week, I'll be going to the Restaurant Finance Development Conference, which is poorly named because it's really supporting the restaurant industry and mainly the franchise industry. I've never gone before, but when I go there now, I can talk about my EBITDA, my earnings before interest, taxes, and amortization. I can talk about, how I want to grow the business. I can talk about leveraging the existing business that I have. And I can talk to banks that are absolutely 100% set. They know the formula. They know that franchise is going to work. They know which franchises are going to work. They know what's going to happen. Currently, we're now franchisees of another company called Sola, S-O-L-A, Sola Salons. That is a re-rental of salon space for stylists. It's a disruptor in the industry. It has no employees. It has tenants. So we take a space that's maybe 6,000 square feet. We break it up into 30 units. We re-rent those units, but we coach and counsel all the 30 tenants that will come in on how to run a business, how to deposit money in the bank and show a return on their investment, how to, there's a lot of learning for stylists. There are new techniques that come out. I don't have to tell anybody that both men and women, but especially women, spend a lot of money on their personal care. And these people that are normally sharing a seat in a salon that have a following, they're splitting their ownership. They're splitting their income with the salon. When they come to us, they keep all their money. They just pay us rent, but we keep them very informed. There's a lot of education for them, and we treat them as industry professionals. And we call them Sola Pros because they are professionals at what they do. And many of them, we will change their lives by bringing them into our facility and letting them earn all their money, which is a really important thing. So, there are different franchises. We are going to be doing that in Nassau and Queens. Suffolk is owned by somebody else, but that is a great franchise, great support system, very capital intensive. So it's really for experienced franchisees, but everybody's got to start somewhere. And quite frankly, I could fill the stadium at Stony Brook with franchisees that have started by mopping the floor. Okay, and when I started in the franchise business, I made $1 an hour or less. I don't even know if I was actually worth the $1 an hour, but now, we can go to a bank and say, I want to do any franchise, and a bank will support my business group because of our experience, our track record. We've run the gambit.